What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Tony D2 Wild checking in once again, back in the building today, guys, with something a little bit different on the channel, and that is a suppressor by JK Armament. And that suppressor is the JK Armament 155 PCX 45 cal suppressor. Alright, y'all, so we're here today, we're testing out the JK Armament. This is their 45 cal can, and we are able to actually run this can on various different calibers. 45 being a pretty big bore, we're going to be able to run this on the 9mm, and also we had today some 45-70, which we're running here, in particular the Rossi R95, as well as my Marlin Trapper. And we've been running it already through the roof with this Nexus 9mm, but also kind of wanted to show you guys how it runs right now as well. We don't have any subs, unfortunately, but I want to show you guys its capabilities, you feel me? And this, of course, are different baffles that you can like swap out as well. So you can make this a little bit more shorter if you want to run it more compact. However, you are going to have a little bit more of a louder sound along with that. Unfortunately, I don't have a decibel reader, which I'm definitely going to be getting my hands on eventually, but just take my word for it, she's pretty quiet. Real nice. And what we're running on this particular one is their War Eagle comp. Now, the War Eagle comp is also featured on the 45-70 as well. So it's all based upon the thread pitch of the War comp. This is a 9mm version. This is a 45 cal version. So you're able to easily just unscrew and put it on to that one. Now, you know, when it comes to suppressors, one of the main topics people always ask, especially when getting into suppressors, is like, Tony, what is the do-it-all? Like, what is the best route to go for your first one, you know? And typically you normally would think of something around the range of a 30 cal, because with 30 cal you can shoot from all the way from 9mm, 308, 5.56. You got a long range of different calibers that you can shoot to, and that's something I would typically say, you know, if you want to, that's the route you should go. But another route that I didn't think about till later on is that how versatile a 45 cal can be, because typically with that 30 cal type of can, you can't shoot that 45 caliber type of bullet, or even a 10mm from what I know. And at least with the 45 cal, you also get that capability alongside with everything else that was stated down below. Now, we've been running the 155, the PCX from JK Armament for quite some time now, and been having a blast with it. And mainly though, the reason for getting this particular can is because I wanted to start to run my lever actions suppressed. Now we have here my Marlin. This is my Marlin, and this is the Trapper, the 1895 Trapper version. And then we also have a Rossi R95, and this is their Trapper version as well. And this one is a more, you know, just traditional take up, where this is more of the tactical cowboy. And we were running this, and it shoots suppressed phenomenally. If you guys know what a 45-70 sounds like, you know it has a little bit of kick. And if you don't know what it sounds like, well, I got some B-roll to show you. Woo! 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 So you can kind of get the gist of it. It is a pretty hefty and loud can at the end of the day. Now, with that being said, we ran it though suppressed with this bad boy right here, and she did phenomenal. But with that being said, that this is a 45 cal can, it is still capable of shooting other calibers, and one in particular that is very good at shooting at is with sub guns. And we shot that alongside with the Nexus Evo Gen 1 in our real recent video, and it handled the sub gun very, very well. Now with the PCX, you have different type of capabilities with the hub mount, so you can go straight direct thread like this, how we did on the Marlin, but you also have the hub that will go on to, for instance, right here is their War Eagle comp, and then on the R95 you have the Bald Eagle comp. Both of these comps work great just as is already alone, but with these on alongside with the hub, you have that easy capability of just swapping from one to the other. Now, with that being said, depending on what you want to do, of course, there are different end caps that you can go along with. This one is for a 9mm, so you would need to put this on when shooting this, and then with this one is the 45, which would go well with this. However, you can shoot the 45 end cap with the 9mm, but if you want to shoot you can't shoot this 9 end cap with the 45. And one of the great things about what JK Armament, like the number one thing, is just how customizable these suppressors are. You know, they come out, this might not be the length that you want. Well, each one of these little things are baffles right here. So you can adjust how much or how long you want it to be, but with every adjustment, you get a better amount of suppression along with that as well. So it gets quieter and quieter or louder and louder. So for the most part, this is it in its, you know, just standard configuration. If I want to run it a little bit smaller, then give me a second, because YouTube don't like me showing you this. You can run it like this. That is pretty much half of the baffles taken off here, and then you can run it in a little bit more compact overall length. So if you want a longer length or a shorter length, it's up to you, however you want to do it. But also, I think this is very dope for the fact that if you run into issues like a baffle strike, if you run into some baffle strikes and you mess up some of that, you basically can easily just replace the baffles and you're good to go. And I don't believe you would need any type of paperwork whatsoever, because the actual part of this is this part right here. This is the serialized part for the most part. Let me just check it out. Yep. The serialized part is this little hub. This is the part that is needed for the Form 4. All this, the baffles, the end caps, all that stuff is just typical stuff you can buy on the internet. But if this was to somehow get messed up, that's where you may have a little bit of issue where you need to send it in and get something like that fixed. But these little end caps, these baffles, if these mess up, you can easily just swap them out and get a new one. And also, with that being said, you know, with how it is coming configured out the gate, if I wanted to get a little bit more quiet, I can go buy me some more baffles, and yeah, I'll have a longer suppressor, but I'll also trade it off for a more quiet shot. So yeah, here it is in its full overall setup, and this is it on the 4570. And if you saw the video or you see the B-roll, she obviously handled it extremely well. I didn't feel that much gas coming into the face. I mean, it is a lever action, so I don't know how that is compared to a overall like an AR-15 or anything of that sort. But even with the 9mm that we did use this can on for this particular review, I had the same exact greatness of shooting it and not having an issue with the gun whatsoever. No baffle strikes on the direct thread and no issues with the War comp. We were not able to test it on the Bald Eagle in particular, because during the time of our shooting, we did get it locked up a little bit on here where the hub was locked up. And that's just an issue that you run into a lot of times when it comes to suppressors. But overall, she's been very, very great. I got some of the specs out here that I want to tell you about it. One of the specs, one suppressor to rule them all. That is one of the things that I stated before with the 45 cal. You pretty much can run any type of caliber through this bad boy. Ideal for pistols and sub guns up to 45 ACP, also rated for 300 blackout, 458 SOCOM, 44 mag, 4570 government, and even 300 Win mag. Super lightweight and mission configurable, hub compatible, ships with a JK taper mount. Caliber supported, 22 LR, 223, 556, 300 blackout, 762 by 39, 243, 308, 762 by 51 NATO, 65 Creedmoor, 7mm Remington mag, 300 Win mag, 9mm 38 special, 357, 45 ACP, 45 mag, 4570. I'm also curious if it runs 10 mil as well, I would think, because I have a 45 can that had that issue, you know, no issue at all. The overall length is 3.3 inches to 8.7 inches configurable, like depending on however long you want it. 3.3 inches all the way to 8.7. Now, with no mount, is 2.8 to 8.2. And when I says no mount, I'm guessing that part I won't know. I don't know what it means by no mount, because does that mean no direct mount or just like screw straight on with the hub? That part I don't know. I guess, or without the mount in general, probably that's just from the actual the serialized part to the end, I guess. The diameter is 1.55. The weight is 3.6 ounces all the way up to 11 ounces in its full length. Material is TI6ALV4 grade 5 titanium and 7075 billet aluminum type 3 hard coat anodized Cerakote. One of the most important things about this, in my opinion, is the overall minimum of its barrel length. Now, out of 9mm 38 special, 357 mag, 40 Smith & Wesson, 10mm auto, 45 ACP, and all smaller pistol cartridges, there is no, it said 10 mil there, so that's important. No minimum barrel length, so whatever you want to do when it comes to that. 300 blackout, no minimum barrel length. I like that a lot. Now, I wonder if that means if any configuration, if I bring it out all the way to the 8 or shorter. I'm kind of curious about that, but no overall minimum barrel length. I have the Omega, and I have an Omega, I have the R9, and a lot of those, when it comes to 300 blackout, you have to be at about 7 inches, 7.5, depending on what it is. So that's very good to know that there's no minimum barrel length for 300 blackout. For 450 Bushmaster and 458 SOCOM, you need to have at least 8 inches. For 350 Legend, 4570 Government, and 450 Marlin, 16 inches. 223-556, 14.5. That's a good one as well. I got 11.5 here. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to utilize that. These are just specs, but yeah, just don't do that. Just don't do it. You'll lose your warranty. 7.62x39, 8.5. 243 Win, 16, 308, 16, 6.5 Creedmoor, 16, 7mm Remingtons, 20, and 300 Win Mag, 20. So you got a pretty good overall, in my opinion, just suppressor to do it all, in my humble opinion. Now, I want to see something. I do want to see one more thing. And I don't think, though, this is going to work with this particular direct mount. So yeah, I wanted to just compare it to my current silencer code 9mm, and it's a slightly bigger overall diameter, but this is still, I think, really capable, depending on the gun, at least pistol wise, because you would need like a Nelson device, but it is still capable, especially with those adjustments, to get something even shorter out of a 9mm suppressor for like a pistol, which I'm looking for to do. Like, I really do like this one overall, but I want something a little bit shorter. So I just wanted to compare to like a silencer code when it comes to a pistol overall suppressor. And then this is a 308 can, and even on this is a Omega. The Omega is bigger than this, and this can handle up to 458 SOCOM and all that, 4570, whereas this one is up to 300, I think, Win Mag as well, or 300 blackout. So yeah, when it comes like to that do-it-all suppressor, and out of the suppressors that I have, like, this one is the one that is really capable of literally doing it all. At least all that I'm gonna be able to get my hands on. I mean, there's some rounds out there that probably is not capable of, but I would say 4570 being one of the biggest overall sized bullet, caliber coming out the gate, and being able to take care of that, I really can't complain. So this is something that I've been wanting to get my hands on, especially just to shoot the 4570 suppressed, and it's been a joy doing so. It takes a lot of the kick out, it takes a lot of the suppression out, and she sounds phenomenal. And these are all my own hand loads, so that's dope, just seeing my own work of art kind of taking fruition out of this suppressor right here. So I like what they got going on, and I want to see some more down the road with them, because they got a lot of dope things coming out here. And also, Grand Thumb Shot made the world's longest suppressor along with this in one of his videos, which is pretty dope as well. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me down below in the description. This is the PCX version 155. There's different 155s, but this in particular is the PCX. And like I stated before, 4570 all the way down to 9mm. You name it, you want it. It worked on both very, very well. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all as always, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. It's your boy 20D2 Wild. I'm checking in. I'm checking out. Peace.